message very clearly to Congress?
No, because it's very clear that the Prime Minister has all the access and ability to deliver that message at any time. The timing of this is clearly being used to further his domestic political objectives. Look, I think there are a number of reasons why members of Congress are perfectly within their right to not want to attend this speech, including the fact that this Israeli Prime Minister has a history of thumbing his nose, not just at the White House and this particular president, but established U.S. foreign policy in relation to Israeli settlements in the West Bank, which have been agreed upon by Republican and Democratic White House administrations alike. He champions these settlements despite the fact that the United States is opposed to them, and he's happy to take billions of dollars of U.S. aid and support and diplomatic cover while ignoring these U.S. policies. So I think the question is not so much why members of Congress are not attending this speech, but why, given all of this, any members of Congress are still planning to go.
Rabbi, your response?
Well, Yusuf, respectfully, you're not even addressing the issue. This is not about settlements and it's not about a peace process. This is about an annihilatory genocidal intent on the part of Iran, the foremost sponsor of international terrorism that has repeatedly threatened to annihilate, destroy, and eradicate the Jewish state. And they have hidden their nuclear program from the world, lied, deceived for more than a decade. Now, Iran is an oil superpower. They need a nuclear program for peaceful purposes the way I need a ham sandwich. This is all about building nuclear devices which they have stated emphatically will be used to destroy the Jewish state. Now, there are 6 million Jews living in Israel. We kind of have that as an eerie number. Just 70 years ago, 1 out of 3 Jews on earth was gassed and cremated and turned into a lampshade. So we take this very seriously. And I know that protocol matters, and I know that no one wants to offend the President of the United States, but such considerations pale into complete and total insignificance in the wave of genocide. We've had one Holocaust. That's just one too many.
Rabbi, let me ask you this. I want you to listen to some sound from Senator Dianne Feinstein, a Jew herself, someone who is going to attend this address to Congress, but who is not fully supportive of what Netanyahu has come here to do and this timing. I want you to listen to what she said on State of the Union this morning and get your response.
When Netanyahu says he's coming to speak, he says he speaks for all Jews. Does he speak for you?
No, he doesn't speak for me on this. He doesn't at all speak.
Does that bother you when he says he speaks for all Jews?
Yeah, I think it's a rather arrogant statement. I think the Jewish community is like any other community. There are different points of view. I think that arrogance does not befit Israel, candidly.
Rabbi, your response to that?
Well, arrogant or not, I think that being exterminated probably befits us even less. This is not about the character of the Prime Minister.
Are you saying you think it is a bit arrogant as well?
No, what I'm saying is that I applaud the Senator Feinstein for saying that in a democracy, people can express their views. She clearly doesn't seem to be much of a fan of the Prime Minister, and God bless her for expressing that view. That's the beauty of a democracy. But why is the administration trying to silence the Prime Minister of Israel in addressing the world's most powerful legislature when the first of our amendments is our right to speak out? Let her express her opinion. Let Netanyahu express his opinion.
Let me get Yusuf back in here. Yusuf, it's interesting because John Kerry, Secretary of State, this morning on ABC's This Week, said that Netanyahu is welcome to address U.S. Congress, but he said right now it is odd, if not unique, that the administration was not included in this process.
Sure, Poppy. I'd like to just respond to one thing that the rabbi said. Unlike you, Rabbi, I was actually born in the state of Israel. My hometown is there. My entire family is there. Many of my loved ones are there. I visit there frequently. If there was a true existential threat to the population there, I would have every reason to be as concerned as anyone else. But the reality is, sir, that what you are engaged in and what the Israeli Prime Minister is engaged in and going to be engaged in when he comes here is threat inflation and exaggeration for political grandstanding. The same kind of threat inflation and exaggeration that he participated in 2002 when he spoke to Congress before the war in Iraq and exaggerated the benefits of that war, saying that he guaranteed, in fact, enormous positive reverberations throughout the region if we took out Saddam. What we ended up seeing as a result of the Iraq War, what we're seeing today still, is one of the most horrific things we have ever seen in the Middle East, and that's ISIS growing out of that vacuum of power. Frankly, sir, the American people do not need any more of Benjamin Netanyahu's bad advice.
Do you know, Yusuf, how important, though, do you think that a strong relationship between the Prime Minister of Israel and the President of the United States is, even on a personal level? Although they have the same policy goals when it comes to Iran, they have very different views of how to achieve that. How important is it that this becomes a stronger personal relationship, Yusuf?
Well, the relationship between any two countries is much deeper than any two individuals. What we're seeing now, though, which I think is truly unique about this moment, is that the divide between the United States and Israel is not just a personal one between the President of the United States and the Israeli Prime Minister, but we're seeing a significant shift in American public opinion among particular demographics, including younger Americans and Americans who come from minority backgrounds, which are, by the way, the very base of the Democratic Party. And what this suggests is that these changing attitudes, which are part of this divide that continues to grow and are being exacerbated by the Israeli Prime Minister, are going to have lasting implications for a divide between Israel and the United States that's far longer and far deeper than any two personalities at the top of those states.
Yusuf Munayyer, thank you. Rabbi, thank you for joining us. We'll have you both more on this evening throughout the program as we continue to cover this and we continue to wait for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's plane to land. We'll let you know as soon as that does in Washington. To Russia now, where Vladimir Putin